Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and its community here on COD Zombies HQ. Thank you so much for tuning in today because we've got a jam-packed show, a whole lot of stuff to talk about. So without further ado, guys, let's kick things right off with our first story of the day. Now that we're a few weeks out from the initial release of the Vanguard Zombies mode, the collective opinion of the zombies community towards the mode can still be summarized with the two sounds of ugh and oof, with the question on everybody's mind being with the massive community pushback against Vanguard Zombies and its game mode featured in Daran Fang. Is Treyarch going to drop the game mode and refocus their effort on something that pretty much everybody in the community can agree is something we want more of, that being round-based zombies content, a survival map, even if it's just something like Shinonuma within Vanguard Zombies? Well, some leakers have restarted the discussions about what's going on behind the scenes at Treyarch right now in regards to the future of zombies content here in Vanguard, where in a tweet, leaker Markwood News Network over on Twitter says that they've heard from over 5 different sources that there appears to be little chance for round-based maps to make an appearance in Vanguard Zombies, even seemingly after the Backlash. As always, this information can change as we're only 1 month into the game's life cycle. Now, this statement was seemingly backed up by another notorious zombies leaker, the MW2 Ghost over on Twitter, who said, "This is in line with what I've heard too. Previously, I said that no round-based zombies map would be coming at launch, but rather it would be releasing in Season 1, which he did. But soon after, I was told that a round-based map wouldn't only not release in Season 1, but it's likely we'll not see a round-based map for the entirety of Vanguard Zombies at all." So it seems like despite the massive backlash against the mode and its lack of any survival or round-based zombies content, Treyarch is tuning it all out, sticking to their guns, sticking to their original plan of releasing whatever they originally planned before the disaster release of Vanguard Zombies. Now, these revelations about what's going on behind the scenes at Treyarch right now is very disappointing, but unfortunately, it's not really surprising, where Treyarch did tell us themselves that they don't plan on releasing any round-based maps here in Vanguard, saying briefly, "I think the thing there is that round-based as you know it might get worked into some other mechanics," and then follows it up by saying that for round-based fans, they're going to be satisfied with some upcoming stuff that will be pretty cool, I think. Which, by the way, a brief aside to all of this, I think it's just crazy that with this quote, it's basically saying that round-based zombies fans, you know, that mode that has basically been the staple of this entire franchise for the last decade, yeah, all you guys might not really be satisfied with Daran Fang, but there's something kind of like it in the future that you might like. I don't know how they couldn't have predicted the response that this game mode has got. But of course, as we covered before, all hope is not lost for the future of round-based zombies content, survival maps, where a lead game designer at Treyarch, Kevin Drew, who we don't believe is working on Vanguard Zombies, rather, we think he's working on Treyarch's next full Call of Duty title, did reveal that round-based zombies maps will return, but it likely won't be in Vanguard. It'll be in that next main series Treyarch game. By the way, while we're on this topic, before we move on to the next story, I'd love to get your guys' opinion on this too. Posted this up on my Twitter. Link is in the description if you want to drop a follow. The most confusing thing about Vanguard Zombies as a community that we just still can't figure out is who exactly this was designed for. It's not for round-based zombies map fans, as Treyarch themselves have noticed, as we talked about earlier in the video. It's not for veteran players of the mode in general, with its lack of complexity. It's not for Outbreak fans either, although it has objectives. It doesn't have any of that large open map style exploration that Outbreak fans love. So was it just like for exclusively new players then? But the aggressive difficulty scalings as you move from like round 5 to round 10, and then massively spiking after round 15, means that it's not that case for very long in game. I really do want to attribute what's gone on with Vanguard Zombies with the lack of development time that this game has obviously gotten, just hasn't received the amount of time it needed to release, but we've really got to also question the general game direction that Treyarch has chosen for this mode. They definitely could have and probably should have stuck with round-based zombies content, survival zombies. They just didn't choose to for whatever reason. But enough of that, let's move on to our second story of the day, where we've got a little bit of an update on the new Easter egg, which has recently been discovered, or at least brought to general knowledge within the DLC 3 Zombies map on Black Ops Cold War, Toten, where if you fire off your M79 at this picture, it produces an effect like you're underwater with a bunch of air bubbles slowly rising to the surface. Now, in the Zombies News Update episode featuring this story, a commenter responded that they also have apparently seen this effect on other Zombies maps too, specifically within the Pack-a-Punch location on the Outbreak region Alpine, which could signify that this is part of some previously unknown cross-map Easter egg in Cold War Zombies. So me and my buddy went ahead, scoured the entire main Pack-a-Punch building, firing off our M79s and a bunch of pictures scattered around the actual site, where supposedly this underwater effect also occurs, and we didn't find anything until my buddy Fed said over the mic, "I found the water effect, man, I found it." But it was just a clever debate, and after splashing around in the water for a little while, it's been determined that I'm not exactly sure what the commenter was remembering, but there is no underwater effect from firing at the paintings in this main building in Alpine. That doesn't mean that it's somewhere else, so I'd highly encourage you, if you are hopping into Cold War Zombies sometime soon, keep your eyes peeled and be on the lookout for this painting specifically. Specific painting was not featured within that building, so we suspect that if this underwater effect is part of some cross-map Easter egg, this specific painting texture is going to be the one that links them between the maps. Not only in the round-based maps, not only in the Alpine Outbreak region, but possibly on other maps and other Outbreak regions as well. Next up, if you do decide to hop into Vanguard Zombies, and actually Vanguard as a whole today, lots of players are finding that they're just randomly crashing out of the game. Sledgehammer saying we're investigating widespread crashing issues in Vanguard, stay tuned, and that their initial response has been to simply disable the new Secrets of the Pacific event in Vanguard while we try to squash and search for the bug that's causing everybody to crash. So it seems like some developers at Sledgehammer are still around working this week. If you didn't know, as a result of the recent controversies at Activision Blizzard, Activision, in I think like a morale boosting move, gave all the developers across all their studios this whole week off, so don't expect any big updates into the game mode this week. Sledgehammer themselves did issue a statement today addressing their week off, saying thank you for all the support you've shown our team since Vanguard launch. We've been right there with you, getting demolished by shotguns on Das Haus, the spawns on shipment, the vital/call-up combo, dev error 5573, and so much more. Your feedback is constantly viewed, discussed, and over time will continue to make Vanguard bigger and better with each patch. We'll be back in action next week, and we'll hit the ground running as we head towards the exciting start of Call of Duty Vanguard Season 1. So honestly, it's kind of refreshing to see a direct communication with the fans from the developer themselves about the state of the game mode and the issues that are plaguing it right now. Obviously, the issues they mentioned are exclusive to multiplayer and multiplayer balance and issues and things like that. It's just kind of unfortunate that for whatever reason, with Treyarch being responsible for the Zombies mode, they just have been straight up radio silent since the release of this game mode. Besides for some brief patch notes, no direct communications with the community or the fan base. Unlike Sledgehammer here, who are doing a pretty good job communicating with the multiplayer community. I don't know if this is like a tactic from Treyarch in response to the wide negative reception of the mode, or they just feel like they don't have anything to talk about and share right now, and they'll start communicating more with the community when Season 1 drops, when their first big changes to the mode get made. But let's move on to our next story, a bit of fun, back to some Cold War craziness, where Effective Tune 572 shows that PhD Flopper can be used as exclusively your only offensive weapon on this Onslaught map. Honestly, I didn't play any Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, so I can't really identify what map this is, but there's a diving board that increases your jump height, and combining that with PhD in Cold War means you can just basically sit on this thing, keep on jumping, and the zombies will keep going down all around you. Just a hilarious strategy that is something that's only available to do in Cold War. But guys, that does wrap up the news today. I want to thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you did enjoy it, consider hitting that thumbs up button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Still, with all the problems in Vanguard, these are still very interesting times, and I think Treyarch's response, their first public response to the community, that they're finally going to be forced to talk about the status of the Vanguard Zombies mode when Season 1 drops, that'll kind of be the determining factor of whether they'll be able to turn this game around or not, but we'll have to wait until around December 8th for that to happen. But I want to thank you again for watching, and I'll see you with another Zombies news update tomorrow. Peace.